When she thinks I'm looking at her, she wags her tail. Morning. Come on in. I'm just being analytical with the diva this morning. She's in a good mood. I'm alive. My feet hit the floor this morning. How are you doing? Welcome back to Konnee's Little Corner. Oh, yeah, I know. You've been here before, but it's good to see you back. I'm glad you're back. It's chilly. It's only in the 60s today. Mother Nature is definitely off her meds. Hot coffee. Gotta have it. Even the girl went outside and inside faster than I've seen her do in a long time. And then she looked up at the rack as if to say, "Where's my sweater, Mom?" I'll put a sweater on her when we go out for a walk. But first, because you've been patiently waiting for this. Yes, it's Temu. Yes, it's big stuff. Are you ready to get down and dirty with some Temu? Right? Okay, we can. We're going to. And then I'm going to give you an update on the garden because it's been technically one full week since I did the plantings. I planted on the 21st, so I don't count the planting day. So 22nd to 29, we're talking a week, right? From nothing to what I'm going to show you. I don't know if it's going to be what you expect, but let's take a look at the Temu first. So come on in, set a spell, bring your coffee. She'll move over eventually, but you can see she left you a little bit of room on the end of the couch over there. She's kind of like taking her half in the middle. I'll show you what these are for in a minute. Let's get into this. Big. Gotta get my scissors out for this. Hold on. All right. You all heard me talking about having to do things and prep things to get ready for the move next year. I'm not a procrastinator. I like to have things in hand before I do something. So what I have in hand this time has wheels. Has lots of wheels. Has 12 wheels. Bases. Some people call them trolleys. Some people call them planter stands. They all have different names. This is what they are. And I'll put a picture up here so that you can see exactly what they look like. This is a 3-pack. $15.29 so far because of price adjustments. These are 15-inch planter stands. They each hold up to 300 pounds. Very thick. Spots for 4 wheels. There's the holes you pop the wheels into. Spots for 4 wheels. I didn't know they were going to match. I don't get dressed thinking about my packages. Heavy duty, 15 inches across. As you can see, they have the reinforcement, which also gives you, if you have something that has legs, you can put the legs in it. If it doesn't, you can put it across. These will also work as wells, as will this, right? If you have something that's going to be draining, it'll give you a little bit of extra inches to drain. It comes in a 3-pack, and I was 100% reimbursed because of the chip in that one. Completely cracked off. Now, I just asked them to send me one replacement piece. I sent them a picture and said, could you please send me one replacement tray or one replacement stand? And this vendor said, nope, we're going to refund you for the whole thing and you don't have to send them back. Those are the kind of vendors I like to deal with. when you're very honest about your returns, you have to excuse me, I have allergy eyes this morning. When you're very honest about your returns, your vendors are very good to you. And this particular vendor I've dealt with before. If you want a link to these, I will put, just ask me, drop a comment, and I'll put the link in your comment so that everybody else can see it. But the $15.29 is after price adjustments. My refund was for $16.72. That's the current price of this 3-pack is $16.72. So it comes with all the wheels, easy to pop in. These are all going to go on the front porch. One of these is going to be used to hold the bird of paradise when I dig it out of the ground and transplant it. The other is going to be used for the dark lord rhododendron when I do the same thing. And the third one is most likely going to be used for all the caladiums, for the rhizomes of the caladiums, the ones that come up this year. Caladiums usually don't start coming up until like April or May. So they're dormant right now. I don't know how many are going to come up, but the third one will be well used. I'm sure. I have no doubt. All right, let me set these down here, out of the way. Those are really heavy. What are you wagging your tail for? She thinks I have something for her. I have nothing for you this morning. Oh, she's got to go inspect. The Inspector General, right? Okay. Next item. More dirty work. This was also a 3-piece set. This was $15.26. So far, again, I've had a lot of price adjustments on it. These are 15-gallon grow bags. Look how big these are. 15-gallon grow bags. I'm going to open one. No. There you go. They're round. And now you can see why I got the 15-inch tracks for them, right? So these are big grow bags because when I transplant the bird of paradise, she needs a lot of room. And I also need a lot of room for the dark lord rhododendron. Now, comes in a pack of 3. There's the other 2. I won't unfold them until I'm ready to set them up. Let me set them down there on the track. That's what these are for. These are 30-gallon trash bags. When you don't plan on actually long-term growing in one of these bags and you want to keep it from, I don't want to say rotting out, but wearing out, because with the moisture, the soil and whatnot, these bags are permeable. They do let water out, so they are basically self-draining, but after a while they kind of get squishy and thin and kind of threadbare, and you can't lift them up anything heavy, they will rip out. So the plan with these is, because I'm going to have these on the porch with the plants in it over the course of the wintertime. And this is what I've done before back in New York. You take a 30-gallon trash bag, depending on how big your container is. My container happens to be 15 gallons. So that's why I'm using the 30-gallon trash bag. If I can find the top of the trash bag. Where's the top? There we are. Okay. Open up the trash bag with your hand inside. Grab the 2 corners. Stick it down in the middle, just like you would any other trash thing. And you're going to basically just curl it across the top like you would a regular trash bag. Let's see if I can get that done. There we go. So it completely lines what you're doing. You want the excess down in the bottom. And trust me, this is all the way down in the bottom. But once I fill it with the dirt, the first thing that'll go in here is going to be a layer of stones, about 3 inches of stone in the bottom for drainage. And then the soil, the plant, fill it, everything, a little bit of soil, put the plant on, top it off with the rest of the soil. As I'm adding the soil, I will be lifting the bag to shake it down so that the excess part of the bag comes up, just like you would with a trash bag, right? But what happens is it will give me excess above the plant, or at least close to the plant, that when it's chilly, I can literally take the top of this bag and tie it closed around the top of the plant, because the plant is going to be down in here. It's not going to be way up here at the top. It's going to be planted down in the pot. I can close it off, and then if need be, I can drape just a bath towel over the top of it to keep the frost off it. If it's cool outside, if it's going to be below freezing, ergo the wheels, I can just roll the whole thing right into the living room. What you guys haven't seen behind the scenes is that I've already started to figure out how I can rearrange some things in the living room to make that kind of space that I need for these things. I'm working on it. It's going to happen. It's already started to the point where I have room for all three of those wheeled bases to go between the desk here and the front door. I'll be able to open the front door enough to go in and out to take Nala for her walks. But when it's that cold, I'm not going to be open the front door all that much. So $15.26 for a 3-pack of 15 quart cloth planters. That's a good deal. That's like $5 a piece for something that big. That's an excellent deal. Absolutely love that. All right. Next item. And I was expecting my household order to come first. My household order is still in California. There's no rhyme or reason as to how things get shipped with Temu. I think a lot of it just has to do with what do they have available that when they pick their order or they pick your order, they can pick it quick. All right. More dirty deeds done by Temu. This is all dirty deeds, right? Temu got down and dirty with me. And I got to figure out how on earth am I opening this one? I don't know. I don't see the gap. Scissors. I need a lot more coffee than this. Look at that. She's like, well, I heard the crinkling, but it wasn't anything for me. I checked it out and it wasn't anything for me. She got spoiled by the last box. Okay, are you ready for cuteness overload? Look at these gardening gloves. Are these not adorable? Wait, there's 3 different pairs. Hot pink with yellow flowers on them. There's 2 pairs of these. 2 pairs in the hot pink. There's 1 pair in the blue and orange. And then there's 1 pair in purple. This is 4 pairs of gardening gloves. And guys, these are not super thick, super heavy. These are basically, they're just stretchy. They're a very thin glove, but it's all that I need to keep the dirt and ick from getting underneath my nails. And as you can see, even with my nails, they fit my fingers beautifully. I have a medium, what everybody calls a medium size hand. And these are very, very stretchy. There's a lot of room in them, but please know they're thin. They're just to keep your hands clean, as opposed to wearing a vinyl disposable glove, or like a sterile glove, a surgical type glove to protect your hands. These are much more comfortable. They're soft and they're washable and reusable. 4 pairs for $3.65. That's a pretty good deal. So I love it. Purple, blue, hot pink. It's actually kind of like a coral, more of a coral, and hot pink. Right? Pretty cool. They do have the stretchy, as you saw down around the wrist part. They have no smell. That's nice. I don't like it when Temu stuff smells. Let me put that down there with everything else. Okay. The last thing in here, in this order, is this. This is a 2-liter garden sprayer. Now, I have an orange one already, which I think you saw me get, 2 years ago. And you'll see it in one of the videos, Sunday with Mama, because that's at the time that I'd gotten it. It was in the summertime, about 2 years ago or so. I had gotten an orange one. Well, that orange one has been dedicated to my Ortho Ground Clear, which is the weed killer. So orange is a color for like warning, just like her leashes and her harness are orange because it's basically, it's not danger, but it's a warning. So I got that one in orange. I'm getting another one in orange, which I have in my cart right now, which I will use for my bug spray, for my pest repellent. And I have to make another batch of that. It's not quite yet mosquito season or pest season, so it's not a rush, but I have that coming and I'll show you when it comes. So I've ordered this one and I actually have a second one coming. This one we're actually going to use today. I am going to put my, I'm going to make, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to make my veggie or my edibles fertilizer. We're going to put it in here. We're going to make it right now, right? And you're going to get to see how it's made, and then it'll go in here. Now, this is 2 liters, and 2 liters is equivalent to just about a half a gallon. It's something like 0.53 of a gallon. So let's just say half a gallon. 2 liters is half a gallon. This is 4.5 pints. And we know that 4 pints is a half a gallon. So 4.5 pints. It has a pump where you pump it up to use it. Your adjustable spray nozzle. You can actually lock, there's your button to push it down. But you can actually lock it down. If you push this down and then push the button forward, it'll hold it down for a continuous spray. If you don't want to use your finger, you can hold it down, or you can just use it as a regular pump without locking it. So I love that it has the locking top. So let's go make our batch. right? Okay. All I'm going to do is take this outside and lightly spray the soil, not the top of the plants, as close to the soil as I can get. It's okay if it gets on some of the plants. It's fine. The Castile soap is what helps hold it in place. So if you do get anything on the leaves, it's all right. But fertilizer should always be put around the base because you want the fertilizer to get to the roots, right? So that everything grows beautifully. Now I want you to take a look at what's been going on in the garden in the past week. So let's take a quick peek at the garden. Unbelievable. All right. The first thing that you're going to see, and I'll probably go back and forth a little bit with this, but the first thing that you're going to see is going to be all the radishes. Now keep in mind, it's been 1 week since I seeded and planted everything, except for the telephone pole peas. They've been down for 2 weeks. But radishes and onions. So here's all the radishes coming up like crazy. Now you can thin radishes out. When radishes get to be about 2 to 3 inches tall, the tops, you soak the soil where the radishes are, where you need to thin them out. You grab them by the top, not by the delicate stem. You grab them by the leaves and you gently wiggle them out. You take your finger, you dig a hole down where you want to put it, and you put it straight down in without crushing the root. So however long your little roots are is how deep your hole needs to be. You put it in, you tap it closed slightly, and that's how you do your transplants. All right. Now, the onions, these are coming up ever so tiny. You can see them starting because onions sprout slower. Onions typically don't start sprouting until 7 to 10 days. Well, it's been 7 days and there they are. These little tiny hair-like sprouts coming up. With onions, you can thin those down and relocate them to kind of spread them out when their tops get to be about 5 or 6 inches tall. Because the bottoms, when you first pull them up, the bottoms will look like scallions. They'll look like baby onions, little tiny things. You do the same thing. You soak the area, you pull them gently by the top, you poke your hole where you're going to move them, you transplant them quickly, tap them back down, and then rewater lightly again. You don't have to thin them out and throw them away. You can thin them out with both the radishes and the onions, and you can put those thinnings, just rinse them off and put them on a salad. They're completely edible. Even the greens, even the tops, completely edible. All right. In the next bin, we're looking at the zucchini, the summer squash. Now, this was not the yellow squash that I had planned on planting, but I love zucchini as well. So I have to adjust my sleeves. So the zucchini went from nothing 2 days ago when I checked to boom, at least an inch tall. And I've got 5 out of the 9 I planted so far. I think there's 5 or 6. You can count them. I didn't count them. They're coming up. And I also have some of the round individual little melon plants that are coming up. Will they compete with each other? A little bit. The melons can actually be a little more invasive than the zucchini. So if the melons get too invasive, I'll remove them or remove maybe all but one of the plants. I'll have to do selective thinning with that. But I'm not thinning out the zucchini. Let the zucchini grow as much as it wants to grow. Zucchini can be piled up on top of each other. It's not a big deal. So I'm thrilled that that's growing. Now, all that has been in 1 week's growth. So clearly the method that I use to sow my seeds, putting them on the delicate ones, putting them on top, lightly sprinkling a little dirt onto it, watering it a little every day. I water consistently first thing. With seedlings, I water first thing in the morning. Once everything is grown up to be about, say, 5 or 6 inches long, then I will start watering them in the evening where they can, especially when it's hotter. So the moisture doesn't evaporate before they have a chance to get any nutrients out of it. All right. Just a little FYI tip there. And I learned a lot of this from Mama. Mama being the farm girl. All right. Now, look at the peas. Holy cow, guys. In just since the last video when I showed you the picture of them when they were like 2-3 inches tall, now they're like 6 and 7 inches tall in just a few days. Their tendrils are attaching to the netting that I put around them, and they are starting to grow up the netting. They're growing like weeds. Telephone pole peas are basically cooler temp peas. They love the cooler weather. They thrive when it's cooler. You can't grow these in the heat of the summer if your summers are getting to be more than maybe 80, 85 degrees. They won't grow as fast or as rapidly. And these types of peas, the pods are long, and on average, there's 6 to 7 peas per pod. I've got at least 50 plants, I haven't counted them, that are growing. Every single one of those growths, those sprouts, are going to grow to be anywhere from 4 to 6 feet tall, all the way up and probably hanging over where I have them, where I have the trellis planted for them. They're going to get really, really big. And they start producing from the bottom up. Obviously, the bottom is where they started, and then the ones at the top will start producing their fruit later. You harvest these, and it's really easy to harvest peas. I've grown them back in New York, and it's super easy to know when to harvest them. When your pea pods are round and plump, shaped like your finger, and in this case, because of the size of my hands, they would be round and plump, shaped like maybe either my pointer finger or my middle finger. And they will be about 5 inches long, 4 to 5 inches long. They'll be very plump, and when you touch them, they'll be very firm. They will lose the glossiness that a new seed has. When the flower comes out and the pod starts to form, they will be very shiny and very glossy. As they mature, they'll lose that glossiness, and you have to watch them because they literally can mature overnight. You can look at them one day and say, no, they're not ready. You can go out the next day and go, oh my gosh, I should have picked this last night. The quicker you pick them, the sweeter they are. These are tender, sweet peas, naturally sweet. Absolutely love these, have always had success. And yes, you can grow them on a patio. You can grow them in a bin, like these big black bins. You can grow them. If you're going to grow them in a flower pot, just put a long, tall bamboo stick in them and only put like maybe 3 seeds around. The smaller your area, the less seeds you want to plant. You can plant them in a flower pot that has a big trellis coming out of it. Patio, porch, balcony. If you have a rooftop that you have access to and you want to grow on your rooftop, go for it. They love the sun. They're hardy. They do not get affected in heavy rains. And down here this coming week, we're about to start getting our torrential rains, our storms coming through. I have no concerns for the peas. The only thing I'm concerned for is my green peppers. I may have to cover them and protect them depending on what they're predicting for the storms. But everything is going to grow absolutely beautifully, guys. So look at that. I'm so excited that it's doing so well. So I just thought I would give you that little garden update. And then in relation to the garden, I actually was not able to water the garden for a couple of days. And this is why, wherever I put them, I might put 2 pictures up. My meter was not reading properly, couldn't be read. Clearly it was not working properly because I was charged triple my normal usage last month. And I knew right then there was a problem with the meter. I reached out to the maintenance manager here where I live, and I expressed that concern. He took it upon himself to just automatically order a brand new meter, which I didn't know of until the day before this hole was dug. He sent me an email say, hey, I'm coming tomorrow with my crew. We're going to give you a whole brand new meter. Amazing. He is probably one of the happiest reasons that him and my neighbors are what brings me some joy in this location where I'm at, so to speak, all things considered with the other nonsense that's going on. So when they dug down to pull out the meter, lo and behold, before they disconnected anything, they saw water. There was a leak in the main line. Now, it wasn't after my meter. It was before my meter. So it wasn't affecting the meter reading. The meter was just faulty. It was old. It wasn't functioning properly. The meter was faulty. But the leak before the line was substantial enough that they had to do all this digging and rerun all these pipes. They ended up having to dead end some pipes that were not in use anymore because the area around me had been changed. There was extra meters that hadn't been used in a decade. So they said, well, they got this leak. They might as well clean everything up, right? Redo all the plumbing and fix it now because, guys, we all know leaks don't get smaller, they get bigger. And the community could have lost a lot of water and had really high water expenses over and above what our personal meters were reading because there are public spots that go onto their public meters. Could have been disastrous for them financially. So there's always a blessing in disguise. There's always a silver lining. My faulty meter not only resulted in me getting a corrected meter, but it resulted in the community being able to resolve an issue that they didn't even know they had. Can you imagine trying to find a leak with hundreds of miles of piping that go through this community, trying to figure out exactly where the leak was? That leak would have had to have been massive before they could have found it. So it was very serendipitous, or it was very fortuitous that they actually found it because of my bad reader. So that's my cure's done. That's my good deed. That's my meter's good deed. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But I'm just so glad that I have water back on in the house now. And it hasn't really rained, so my rain barrel's getting very low. But it's been cool and damp, and there's been a lot of dew and moisture in the morning. And when I get up every morning and I go out and see the soil at the veggie gardens was damp, not only could I not really water, but I wasn't worried about watering. So the timing was perfect. Okay, that's it. One last reminder. Still waiting to hear from a couple people on the jewelry sales. The Mother's Day / kitchen box is going to be done. I will show it to you in April, which I know we're only a few days away from April. Can you believe this? There's only 2 more days after today left in March, and then we're going to hit April 1st. April 1st is on a Wednesday, so I guess I'll be dropping a video on April Fool's Day. I won't play a prank on you. Don't worry. I won't do it. Don't you do it to me either. I know how you guys can be. Don't you mess with me on April Fool's Day. Hey, I was baptized on April Fool's Day, and my first communion was not my first communion. What was it? My confirmation was on, yes, I was raised Roman Catholic. I'm a recovering Catholic, just in case you were wondering. But my confirmation was on April 1st. And when I bought my first home as an adult, my closing date was April 1st. I'm just an April Fool. What can I say? Okay. That's everything. So you can look forward to seeing most of what's in the Mother's Day box. There's one big, very special item that's going into it. But I will tell you, because it is a combination kitchen/Mother's Day giveaway for my subscribers only. You must be my subscriber to get in on that giveaway. I will let you know when your entries can start going in. But you all know me, I tend to put something very special in the box. There's one massively expensive, like a $70 item that's going into that box. And I am also going to gift the winner 5 pieces of my custom jewelry. And it's going to be winner's choice. It will be earrings, necklace, rings, pendants, chains. 5 pieces of the winner's choice will go into that Mother's Day portion of that box. All right? So if you've won a givey from me before, you can't enter, but I would definitely encourage you to have your adult children subscribe so that they can enter and maybe try to win something, for you or for themselves if they're moms, spouses, significant others, right? No, your dogs can't enter. I'm sure she would because I'm the mama. Look at the smile on her face. Can you see that? That makes me smile when I see that. All right, enough of me already. Big thumbs up. Don't forget to hype the video, and if you're not yet subscribed, regardless of the giveaways that I do, please consider subscribing. It's free. It does me a solid. It just helps the channel grow. It costs you nothing but maybe 10, 15 minutes worth of watching part of a video for a few minutes, right? And I'm not making them as long as I was before, and I'm trying to keep them around a half hour or so right about now. Still got a mix of stuff coming from Whatnot. I still have 4 more orders coming from Temu. So it looks like about once a week, probably on Sundays, might end up being a Temu day after all. All right. So remember, stay hydrated. I love this mug, by the way. I use this all the time when it's clean, which isn't often because I use it all the time. Above all else, please stay sweet. And she and I will be back to see you on Wednesday. Are you coming back? Yes? Ah, good. I'm so glad. We'll see you then. Bye.